The World Economic Forum returned to South Africa, attracting over 1,000 participants to a country which is looking for investments. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa came to power on a promise to restore investor confidence and steer the economy out of recession. Africa's most developed economy is now celebrating a 3.1% GDP growth in the second quarter of this year, but much remains to be done.
The reality is that our economy is barely growing to address the challenges that our country faces. And while the economy is creating new jobs, the jobs that are being created are not nearly enough to bring down the overall rate of unemployment.
Africa is hoping the fourth industrial revolution could be one way to fight unemployment.
Yet, globally, one of the fears about the fourth industrial revolution is that it will make jobs disappear. But from conversations held by experts here in Cape Town, South Africa, they strongly believe that the new era will bring new opportunities, just like the information age brought jobs that were unimaginable some 20 years back.
As Africa, what is it that we want to identify? You've had lots of countries, Kenya, Rwanda, we're rolling out our health services, we're using drones and all that. Who produces these drones? Who programs them? And that's the space that we're saying as Africa, we really need to look into it. What strength does Kenya have? Does Zambia have that South Africa does not have? How do we collaborate together?
But what about low-income, less exposed youths? Skills is the best way to go. We have to provide digital skills to those that don't have. We have to make sure that we invest in different resources that we're going to need. But most importantly is to identify what is it that must be Africa's niche in the fourth industrial revolution. The question of inequality also came up in relation to the prospective growth of cross-border trade. Discussions on the African Free Trade Continental Agreement have been welcomed with enthusiasm by local and international players.
On the Continental Free Trade area. And that was one of the issues in the discussion there. How do we prevent on the continent, that your existing conglomerates, your existing monopolies don't just end up dominating the Pan-African market in the end. But I think with the right approach, policy approach, right kind of political approach, we can really avoid that, and really create new opportunities for raw new business to enter the African economy.
And what do the current challenges to social cohesion mean to established and new investors in sub-Saharan Africa?
Anything that is affecting our employees worries us. I believe the way now the restructuring is happening in the government, that's very encouraging. We have issues in this country that need to be dealt with, whether it's the state-owned entities, but also crime is an issue, unemployment. Industry alone can't do that, and politics alone can also not do it alone. So it's affecting us, but I still believe that South Africa is the best manufacturing base that we have in the group. So I love being here.
Most of the smartest investors, they actually invest in times that don't seem comfortable or popular. So I'm even more confident, but also more strategic about the nuance. In what ways can we start investing, and I think I'm young, in a younger generation, because they also need to see hope. So I think for me it's in spite of the current climate. I think it's because of the current climate that we have to be strategically investing, because that's the only way I can see a more collaborative future.
The investment we launched in South Africa specifically around job creation, which is incubating small partners, also is extending beyond the borders of South Africa. We have a Edge Center, which is a partner incubation center now in Kenya. We plan to build one in Nigeria. And what's interesting about those Edge Centers, they're basically going to connect to each other. So you will have startups that will sit in East Africa or Kenya, as an example, collaborating with startups in South Africa and then in West Africa and Lagos. Because then the solutions become a continent solution as opposed to a solution that is only available in the market in which you develop it for, right? Which is an interesting concept that we're developing.
And this reflects the opinion shared by both private and public sectors to encourage social cohesion on the continent. The various heads of state attending the World Economic Forum also stressed an urgent need to unite as one people in Africa for an economically empowered and stable future.